Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Living World of Darkness Rage across New York. The scene is set very late in the evening, going on past the witching hour into the single digit hours of the morning. Clock goes ahead and starts to chime the 1 o'clock. I mean, where there are clocks that actually chime 1 o'clock, this is the city. This is the Big Apple. The city never sleeps. There are thousands, if not hundreds, of different digital watches and digital displays currently paying several variations, slight variation, millisecond variations on the 1 o'clock hour, the 1 a.m. And of course, there are several other clocks and several other office meetings that are clicking just like 2 or 5 or 6 a.m. and the time in Hong Kong, the time in Chicago, the time in LA, the time in New Brussels, Germany.
Okay.
Again, all of these hours are currently chiming at this very moment when a single text comes across Leah's phone.
Wow, that was really deep all the times. Yeah, apparently there is a text. And she's actually sitting at her place, just kind of. Oh, she's awake, but like, honestly, just kind of, she's actually sitting at that little desk that she has that has all this jewelry stuff on it, and is kind of pondering which bead would go next on this particular bracelet because she hasn't quite got the pattern down yet. But she sets that down to look at her phone. And I assume it's the text that you mentioned. Pretty much, I'm here. I'm alive here, and I'm hurting. Can you come here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. She's like staring at it, like hurting. What? And then she's like, oh, whatever. Not like I'm getting anywhere with this anyway. And so she texts back, okay, where?
You receive a text. Just subway station closest to the south end of the park, just across from the Millionaire Mile.
Cool enough. So she grabs her standard backpack, which does not have books in it for once, but she always carries it because there's other important things in it. And it's pretty much her purse, to be honest. And just kind of bolts out. Locks the door behind her because this is New York. We do that here. And heads down to the park, or down to, I can't remember all the details, that place.
You go ahead and start to show up in front of the subway entrance. You go ahead and take each and every step down. The place is well lit. You aren't alone, but you can definitely tell that this station is almost completely and utterly deserted. You being not necessarily a New York native, but at least being familiar with the area, know that this is a bad time in one of the better parts of the town, but still, anything could really happen, and it's probably best for you to try to scamper on back home as soon as possible. But
I'm here
when you
anyway.
go ahead and make your way,
I am here anyway. That's right.
apparently when you live with rage monsters, the errant mugger is just not really that big of a concern. In in any case, you notice that on the platform there's a particular bench, and you see what can only be described as a homeless boy. You notice Alan Stewart with his rose-tinted glasses, his hipster attire, his plaid shirt, just utterly dead to the world.
Interesting. And you said this was up some stairs?
Down some stairs. You go down to the subway.
Right. So does this? Well, typically yes, but I was just making sure. All right. So yeah, go down the steps. Pretty much, just walk down it. Like walk. Make sure that keep an eye on like anybody who's near me, so they don't come by and like try to lift the backpack or mug me or some shit. But you know, um, head over there. Is he actually laying on the bench?
He looks like he's gonna collapse on the bench. Yes.
Okay. But there's enough room for me to at least get partly on there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, drop down onto there and just kind of scoot up next to him and just be like, actually kind of bumping him, the point being, hey, if you're sleeping, I'm waking you, type thing.
You go ahead and bump into Alan, and when you do so, you notice he goes ahead and stands straight up, goes ahead and grabs his chest for a bit.
Hey, sit down.
He goes ahead and sits up straight, looks at you. Hey, probably shouldn't have done that.
I didn't know. You were just there. Sorry.
No harm done. No harm done. It's just a bit tender at the moment. Shit. Long day.
Why are you still awake?
Still awake because I'm not home yet. I don't feel like I don't feel like collapsing in the park right now.
I guess I can't blame you. I mean, you don't always want to sleep there, I suppose.
I had a weird day today.
What happened? If you can say that sort of thing here.
Not here.
Okay. Are you up to going back to my place, or do you want to go somewhere else?
Alan goes ahead and takes his free hand, the one that's not gripping his chest, and grabs yours. Lead the way.
Lead the way. And in this case, I can't remember how far things are, but she's going to get a cab this time, if at all possible, because I'm taking any kind of, it seems silly at this point, just get him home as easily as possible. It's worth it for the money if, when someone's hurt. So she'll get them a cab and head back there. I think it was like in Queens or something that I had her apartment. So
yeah, it's a bit of ways.
A little bit. But that's life, and it's okay. And yeah, she actually lives on the 3rd floor. There's probably a whole bunch of other small little apartments around. I don't think it's anything. It's never been a very nice place, but it's not a horrible place either. Something decently middle class, but just small is the thing. So we'll just skip through the travel part because that's just absurd. And she'll unlock the door, probably fumbling the keys, and then finally get the damn thing open. And open the door for him to go in.
You'll go in.
The room looks pretty much the same because she's cleaned it up since the last time you were over.
You notice that Alan is rather groggy. He is much the same as he was when you first found him, pretty much dead to the world in every sense of the word, moving very hesitantly, taking one or two steps, very, very measured, very, very even. You notice that his breathing is actually quite labored, if only because he keeps holding himself.
Um, I, I, I can look at that if you want. Maybe I can at least patch it up a little bit or something.
Okay, just. He goes ahead and withdraws his hand and sort of
No,
just, where do you want me? I'm going to lay down now. And by lay down, I mean he's gonna start tilting one way and then
grab
the
him.
next, and then he's gonna start, move his feet a little bit too much, and he goes from a 90-degree to a 45-degree.
I get it. Grab his hand and pull. Just do that. Just sort of gently push him to sit on the bed because that is the best way to do this. If he falls, at least it won't be onto something hard.
All right, he sits on the bed.
If you want to lay down, go right ahead. But I'm assuming if it's your chest, you're going to want to take your shirt off.
Okay.
Or I can help you with that if you need me to. I don't know if your arms are having issues or not. Help him. Pull it over his arms and then pull it over his head.
Mhm.
Well, no, it was a button down, wasn't it? So I can just unbutton it.
Yeah, you can.
That is so much easier.
Yeah. You will see scar tissue there. It seems as if Alan's chest has been slashed across. Not necessarily a stabbing or a penetrating wound, but definitely one that has cut across him quite deeply. It seems to be scarring at the moment.
She just looks at it and just shakes her head. She's like, I seriously keep medical supplies around here just because of Callie. So guess who gets to use some now?
Hmm?
She's gonna go in the bathroom and come back with like a first aid kit that's got like gauze and all the ointments and stuff like that to clean things. I actually have medicine in it too, so she literally can't do this.
He's just gonna go ahead and sit there and let you do whatever you want to him.
Oh, that's nice. Won't take that anywhere bad. No, she was just going to make sure everything was clean and tended to, and if it needs some, bandaging of some sort, do that. That's all. So you'd have to tell me how bad it is if I need to roll anything or not. If it's just
go ahead and roll it. See what happens. Garu healing is fantastic, but
even if it just helps, so you're not bleeding onto your clothes, that might be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 5 I got. Yeah, a whopping 2 in medicine. Booyah. 2. So it's not bad.
Yeah, you clean up most of the gunk inside of that deep scar wound. Make sure that it's clean. Make sure that the tissue around the muscle will go ahead and knit itself together. You notice that Garu physiology being what it is, it hasn't started bleeding out at all. It's just really, really deep, really, really bad.
But I mean, it's based on the fact that she's dealt with Garu wounds before. She wouldn't think it needs stitches, would she?
Nope, you would know that kind of thing like stitches itself.
Okay, that's because I mean, typically you see deep, you think stitches. That's why I was asking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So just clean it up and then, like put on some gauze over it and then, tape it on there, whatever stuff that is, and be done because he'll probably heal it up on his own anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, as I don't really even know how the healing works exactly. I was just looking at that again and I still can't figure it out. So we'll just leave it at that for now. And then she'll kind of walk over to the other side of the bed and kind of lay down on one side, propped up on an elbow, looking down at him.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Okay. Uh. Okay. Story actually starts, I don't know, maybe a month ago. Mm, new to this ep. Well, I was new to this ep. And at least I had rank, and it was a Cleith. Uh, so I sort of wandered around doing non-slot type jobs, really focusing on myself. And then I got this guy, uh, Glasswalker Theurge, that decides to drop a cub on me. And I'm like, hey, awesome, hi. And then he does it again. And then pretty soon I get up and I think, well, maybe this is my Gaia given duty. So I approach the farmer den father and ask if I can take his responsibility off of him. He says yes. He goes ahead and grants me the position at the next moot. So yeah, there you go. Lever, he's a good sort. He takes care of his own. Quite admiral like that. But a few days ago, he passed. He became a casualty, which sucked.
Who was it?
Livewire.
Okay. Sure, I don't know this person, but okay. All right. I'm sorry.
Uh, Not that close to me, but he was still comrade, still doing what he thought was a good idea at the time. And one of the last things he actually did was make sure a few of the cubs reached adulthood. But shortly afterwards, he fell in battle. So I'm out there. I've had this man go ahead and fall. And I know for a fact that I still have lingering contracts with him. Null and void, mind you, but still. I want to make sure that his last requests were respected. And today, I went ahead and did that. I went up to another theurge, asked her how I could find this mad seer, right? And she gives me a map. She gives me a few bits and pieces of equipment. She tells me to go ahead and get a crew. I get a crew up. Uh, Kachina, Travis, Smiles, Bright Eyes. Bright Eyes is a new guy, kind of loud. Uh,
Bright Eyes.
Antonio. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is he crazy?
Yes.
Oh, and he like he. Well, I met him the other day. He smelled terrible. He was British.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's so cool though. I know call him Hatter. Tell him that I told you to call him Hatter.
Uh, no.
Why? I call him that all the time.
I will call him many, many names, none of which will be Hatter.
No, he is the Mad Hatter. Seriously, you have no idea.
He's insane, yes, and he almost got us all killed.
Well, I'm sorry about that. He is quite nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But I like him.
Well, I'm glad you like him because he's not going to get a lot of like from the full moons for a while.
I don't have the same issues that you. I don't have to go into battle with him.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before I go into battle with him either. Okay, so
Sorry.
um, I got everybody up. We decided to go hunt down this mad seer for a few words of prophecy. We actually jump on the moon bridge, but we started this expedition about 10 in the morning. And by the time we got up to the northern part of the penumbra, it was already 5 in the evening. We were walking a long, long way. Once we got up to there, in the penumbra, we kind of crossed the threshold a little bit. The threshold from the penumbra to something much more wild. It was a place untouched. Just completely and utterly wild, tainted, if you want to call it that. I mean, we had wolves that were bigger than houses and rhinoceros that towered above us. Creatures and spirits that we had never seen before, at least not me. And for most of the way, we were just making our own way, just trying to be as peaceful as possible. But there was this fountain. This fountain was full of this fantastic water. Even I was going to drink it, but Antonio, with diplomacy, beat that idea out of my head. But a few of the others drank, and we had Bright Eyes, who was just insane and wild at that time when he really, really, really didn't need to be. And while we were causing this big fuss, while we were bringing attention to ourselves, I kid you goddamn not, a giant bigger than a skyscraper started to thunder towards us with with just this gigantic club that was completely silver. Every single one of us looked at that and knew that we were gonna die. Gee,
I can see why. I would have been running the other way.
oh, we eventually all did run. Bright Eyes was the first one to run screaming, screaming, screaming. He didn't need to scream, and he was the first one to run. So, yeah. Would have been better if we had all ran away at the same time and we had not screamed. But there you go.
This sounds like a mythic story that went somewhat awry.
Oh, yes, it did. It completely did. And I can point you to the lupus that disappeared on us. Dragos, actually. The one that looks like goddamn street signs and traffic cones when you look at him in the penumbra. Oh, yeah, he was there. He attracted a lot of ill attention from the wild spirits. Giant wild spirit with a giant club looks at you and says, I don't like you, rears back its club and starts to smash the earth.
Right. Okay, so where did your thing come from?
This thing?
Yeah.
Some guy stabbed me when I wasn't looking. Ugh. See, the thing is, Kachina was at least able to talk to the one that was most offended, calm it down. And what it did is it went ahead and punted him clear across the landscape. He lived, which was nice.
I suppose that's good. Honestly, the people that you've mentioned, I only think I know one or two, maybe.
Hmm.
I know Hatter.
I mean,
Hatter, I totally know.
mm-hmm. So we eventually get ourselves all situated. None of us are dead, luckily. And we meet one of the meet one of the inhabitants that's more willing to talk to us, and he tells us that this whole glade is protected against violence. That we should not raise our weapons in anger. And Travis raises the glade that we gave him earlier in the day to Bright Eyes to pretty much just say, You calm down. You calm down, Bright Eyes. You're screaming still. In fact, all of us were telling Bright Eyes to calm down, but didn't work out too well. The spirit told us that we had failed the test and sent us back, way back to the beginning of the glade to take the trial again. So we go ahead and gather ourselves. I go ahead and look at everybody and look at my fellow Galliard and say, okay, we're going to try this again. We're not going to be jackasses. We're not going to raise our tempers. And we are going to be like little Fonzies. We're going to be cool.
Is that how you control Guru? I didn't realize. Just tell them to be like Fonzie?
Probably shouldn't tell them that, but it worked in this case.
All right, then. So you made it through, and you got what you needed?
Yeah, we made it through. We talked to the Mad Seer, who told us many things, many confusing things, for I assume his own reason. And in order to seal the deal, for just one more thing, one more thing for the Sept, he had us go ahead and blindfold ourselves. And after he blindfolded all of us, he went to each one of us and started cutting with his silver knife. That hurt. And I
Ow!
passed out.
Ow!
Everybody passed out.
So he just randomly cut you? Like, for what purpose?
Yeah.
What purpose is this?
Yeah. It just for the sake of randomly cutting a bitch. He didn't like us.
Well, it seems that there was some misbehavior. I'm not saying you misbehaved. I'm just saying there was misbehavior.
It was all just it was a clusterfuck of a day. Could have been worse, but still. We all took our lickings that day.
Okay. Well, nobody died. So I guess in the end, the worst that happened was you wasted a lot of time and got information you did need.
Information we did need and a walking platform.
A walking platform?
Mm-hmm.
How did you get a walking platform?
I don't know. When we woke up after being stabbed, we were on this rock elemental that was lumbering back towards Sept.
Okay, then. Well, that's convenient, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. My day was not nearly that interesting. I did meet
Really, please tell me.
the best I can say is I met someone who knows you.
Yeah, really, who?
This guy named Xavier.
Oh, Xavier is one of the Cubs.
I see. Oh well,
He
he's working for Vale, so I met him at work.
Oh, why is he working for kinfolk?
Why shouldn't
Especially
he?
that one.
It's a job. Why not?
He walks. He's barely been within the sept for a few days. I don't think enough vetting has gone on him. I don't know whether or not he's going to be staying around for very long, is what I'm going to say.
Did I just get him in trouble?
Don't worry, he's usually really good at getting himself in trouble.
Okay. I mean, he was really useful. Like, he helped solve a case. Or at least not solve a case, but at least get closer to it.
Yeah. If he has such talents, those talents can be useful. And if such a profession can refine those talents, I see no problem with it. However, I will still beat his ass because I know he's been sneaking out. I know he's been sneaking out behind my back.
I wasn't trying to get anybody in trouble. I just thought it was just weird because he brought you up. He said something about, yeah. And I was like, Alan? And he's like, yeah. And then he said something else. I can't even remember what. And it was just one of those conversations. It stuck out because the first time you came up, like the whole day, I think.
Don't worry about it. I'm too exhausted, and I really don't care right now. If Xavier's in trouble, he'll be in trouble tomorrow.
Right. So, Den Father, what does this mean? You're in charge of beating up the Cubs?
I'm in charge of looking over, taking care of, rearing, and preparing the cubs for their rite of passage.
That's actually a lot of responsibility.
Good thing I don't have to do it alone.
I see.
One of my pack mates took the responsibility with me. So when I'm not around, she's in charge.
As equals, I would imagine, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. I have no intention of taking this full. I have no intention of, taking a greater measure of responsibility for this.
Sorry, just you made it sound almost like she was an assistant or something.
No, she's Den Mother.
Wow. That sounds interesting. When I think of Den Mothers, I think of like Cub Scouts.
It's sort of like that.
Except take off the scouts.
Yeah, well, no, keep the scouts. It's basically Cub Scouts, but you're all rage-filled monsters. So I have to make sure that Xavier gets his merit badge for sneaking out at night. There's actually a 3-dot merit.
I was gonna say, actually, it wasn't at night. It was like in the afternoon. That's totally different merit badge.
Yeah, totally different merit badge. That one was always the rebellious one, ever since he walked in to the sept.
He seemed really uncomfortable. Like I don't know. He just seemed really weird. Like it was almost like he tried to leave the room randomly. I don't know. As soon as he could find a reason to go do something somewhere else, he did. It was really weird.
What did he find uncomfortable with? What was so gosh darn uncomfortable for him?
I have no idea. I don't know. We were just like talking. He was filling out paperwork, because there has to be all legal and stuff. And he's actually some sort of an intern or something like that, so he's not getting paid tons, but money is money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, we were talking about this case. I went through this gigantic stack of paper looking for the phone numbers. So tired of looking at that gigantic stack of paper. It was a cell phone bill. Then I had to look through footage, and then, I don't know, just between the bunch of us, actually 4 of us, between the 4 of us, we figured out at least the most likely suspect. And he ends up making ballistics gel from like $150 worth of stuff. I don't know how the hell you do that, but he did.
Sounds like you got quite the case then.
It was interesting. I don't even know names exactly. I just know phone numbers. I could read you that number in my sleep. and I don't know why I'd ever want to contact them. But it's still better than working in that damn diner.
The diner, you serve people food, and then they're happy. I don't know what kind of work you're doing right now, but does it make people happy?
Well, in this case, it was helping solve a crime. So I hope it helps, the victim's family.
Eh.
I mean, it's not something I'll see.
Does it make you happy?
Except with the gigantic stack of paper that I have to go through, like, over and over and over again to catch all of those phone numbers. I was going blind. Like, seriously, I felt like my eyes were crossing. But it's kind of fun. I've only just started doing this, but it's kind of fun. I think my title is technically, I believe, administrative assistant.
Hmm.
Basically, I do whatever stuff Vale tells me needs done that, takes some of the load off of him. But yeah, actually, and she like reaches, she'll actually get up out of bed for a second, walk over to where she dropped her backpack by the door, and unzip the front pocket, pull out this little box, and walk over with it. And then she opens the box up and pulls out a card, and she's like, "Look!" And it's actually a business card that has her name on it. It says Black Wolf Investigations, and it says, Leah Kreko's administrative assistant. It has like email, business phone numbers, and all this junk. I have actual cards. I didn't buy the cards, but I was given them. Me, I have cards. The fuck?
The card goes ahead and disappears into Alan's pocket.
You can have it. I don't know what else I'm going to do with those cards anyway. Do you find it weird that I have a card?
Honestly, no. How many cards do you have? Is the question.
Only one with my name on it like that. I have a debit card.
No. I'm talking about how many were printed out for you? Because in this city, business cards are like a gosh darn business.
Honestly didn't ask in character in the other scene, but it's just a box of cards.
A box of cards. Business cards. There you go.
Pretty much. Whatever that size is.
Yep, sounds about right.
I don't know.
I remember somebody telling me that that the business card business was booming in New York. Everybody has one. Everybody starts giving them out.
As long as my cell phone's not on there, I'm all right. Thank God for that. Seriously, do I really? If someone needs me, Vale has my number. He can call me if he needs me to do something. And he knows that that it's around school. So as far as that goes, it's decent money. It's decent. It's way better than what I was getting paid. And it's interesting, if nothing else. At least I feel like I'm using my brain, not just like, writing down the people's orders, going back, give it to the cook. The cook makes it. I take it back out. I smile, look pretty for the people, and hope that they will remember to leave me $1.
Go back to the smile and look pretty.
What about it?
Just do it.
I can't guarantee how I'll look, but I can smile. Smile.
Hmm.
Feels like you're gonna pass out any second.
Am I?
She's gonna drop the cards back down, like pretty much on the floor on that side of the bed, lay back down, and put her hand on his stomach. Not up where it hurts, but below. I'm assuming you're going to stay, right? Because you
Yes.
don't want to move?
I don't want to move. I don't want to do nothing.
She clearly looks like she's thinking for a second there. And then she just smiles again. She's like, okay, can do that. Should probably sleep sometime.
Tell me, what else have you noticed about Xavier? The way he works with you?
He doesn't seem to meet my eyes. But he works just fine. Like, if he needs me, he's be like, hey, Leah, come here, or whatever. He just doesn't seem to meet my eyes.
Hmm.
He seems to work fine with those of us that were there, though. He also seemed really curious about Connor.
Describe it to me.
Who, Connor?
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't tell you, but he is the person who's been teaching me not how to do the stuff that the stuff I can do, but he's been teaching me about dream speaker stuff, just about the
Mm,
ways of it. So what
mm,
he was interested in was the fact that Connor is, as he called himself, a shaman, which is fair because that is actually a term for a dream speaker. And that's what he was interested in, was the simple fact that of Connor and his beliefs. I didn't tell Xavier about my thing because I didn't see the point. I tend to keep that to myself unless it's really needed. I told you because I thought it might make a difference.
mm, mm, mm,
Meh, meh, meh.
eh.
Are there words?
No, there are no words. There are no words between us right now.
Except for those words you just said?
I've been told that when I really get cranking, oh, words are utterly meaningless. He says, like, propping himself back up on the bed, sitting down all proper like.
You seem to be feeling a little better.
You must have a healing touch.
Sure.
Uh, hmm. Right, right. We did something big today. Something big, fantastic. Uh, Something that'll help us.
I'm happy. Whatever it takes.
Um,
Storm Eater's got to get out of there. I'm telling you, that thing looks so creepy. I've only seen it from a distance.
yeah, yeah. A lot of us are looking at it now really, really closely. We're measuring the numbers. We're looking at who we have available. We're looking at all the different allies and resources that we've gotten, and we're still counting numbers, and
So I have a
it's
question.
not a sure thing.
Is there anything I can do? I mean, I know I'm not a fighter, but if there's anything I can do.
Anything you can do.
Yeah. I'm a part of the SEP too, right?
For the Sept,
Well,
maybe look after other kinfolk. Maybe make sure that they're prepared should the worst happen. Against the Storm Eater, probably not a lot. But for me,
She smiles slowly at that. For you?
he goes ahead and looks at you. Looks at you in the eye. He takes off his rose tinted glasses, puts it on the counter. You know, you are very, very sweet.
We're back to that.
We never left. What Alan's going to do is he's going to go ahead and actually take you by the shoulders and sort of guide you back down onto the mattress of the bed. And then he's going to go ahead and lean down and start to nuzzle at the neck, give you tiny pecks, the lightest of touch, until he eventually goes ahead and finds your cheek. You notice that he hasn't shaved, actually. There is a very, very there's a slight roughness to his 5 o'clock shadow.
For that matter, she's pretty much going to close her eyes once he starts doing that because, well, it's one of those natural things to happen. And then kind of wrap her arms around him to pull him closer. And by the time he reaches her cheek, she's pretty much about to pull his face closer so she can actually just kiss him in a normal sort of fashion instead of this whole neck cheek thing.
You take his head. His lips go to yours.
And she pretty much kisses him passionately. Just, I mean, we're on a bed here. It all seems pretty obvious. Running around at 1 a.m. in the. And as far as that goes, unless there's something else that needs to be done, I can probably safely assume what happens there.
Is entirely up to you, my good ma'am.
Oh, it's fine.
As far as we have right now, we can go ahead and take a more bird's eye view of the scene. Outside of Callie's up. This is Callie's bed. You made a reference of a little window, right?
Yes, it's Leah's, by the way. Callie is entirely the wrong person.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Wrong place for that to happen. All right, go on.
Right, I was like 1,000 miles away. We'll take a bird's eye view of the situation. And so, outside of Leah's bedroom window, where she keeps most of her gardening supplies, I would assume, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's like 4 or 5 little pots sitting there.
Okay. 4 little and 5 little just house plant plots are sat there. And on the just the other side of the alleyway, if it actually is an alleyway, or on the other side of the block, if it isn't, there's this little bird house. And in this little bird house, this crazy woman has filled it up with a whole ton of bird feed. And right about this moment, this ungodly hour, for some ungodly reason, there is a hummingbird trying to take as much of the nectar as possible. And then this being so gosh darn late in the night, and this hummingbird not being the most smartest thing in the world, is promptly caught and devoured by a domestic house cat.
Awesome. That's quite romantic.
Hey, you let me in the scene. If you want to end the scene, you go ahead and do it now.
Oh no, we already have a dead bird with a cat. I don't know what else I could do with that. There's no way of romanticizing that at all.
It has been a very, very long day. And Helios has come and gone. Luna is making her way across the sky. And again, it seems like a brand new day. A Tuesday, actually. So we will leave it there. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Y'all have a good night.